What's up, everyone? This was basically me a month ago, and I was grinding LeetCode every day and trying to get a job as a software engineer. And this is me today, because I just accepted an offer from Google to become a software engineer. For the past few years, I've actually been self-studying and teaching myself how to code, and I learned languages like Python and JavaScript. But my new team actually uses C++ and Java, and I've never coded a single line of C++ or Java, which means I need to learn them. So I wanted to make a few videos and just document my learning process and how I go about learning C++ first, and then maybe Java later. And I hope this will be interesting to at least a few people. If anyone has any questions about my hiring process or wants to know more about how I got hired at Google, let me know. But let's get into it. All right, so for the first video, I'm going to focus on just getting my environment set up and making sure that we can compile and run our code. I'm running Linux Mint here for the first time, so I'm actually going to be learning Linux alongside learning C++ and Java, which I think will be pretty cool. So yeah, let's get started. I'm going to make a project directory here so we can go into documents and make projects. And then we can make a C++ folder, and let's make our first program, Hello World. And then we can make our hello world.cpp and open this up. Cool, that works. And let's see. So I think the only thing I really know how to code in C++ so far is hopefully hello world. So let's try and do that. So we can include IOStream, and our main function will be using standard cout. We will type hello world. And let's just use a new line here. And I think we can return 0. And let's see if this compiles. For the compiler, I think Linux includes Clang and G++, but I think I'm just going to try and use G++ for now. I'm not really too sure which one's better than the other. Maybe I can look into that in a future video. But let's see, G++ we'll put in our input file, and our output should be hello world. And let's see if we can, let's run it, hello world. Okay, cool, so that works. I think next I'm going to just focus on learning the basics of C++, because I actually don't even know how to like make arrays and things like that. So let's do that next. I should mention that I tried going through a book called A Tour of C++ for a little bit, but I think it doesn't really teach a lot of the like syntax of C++. It's more about maybe sort of best practices type thing. So this would probably be good for me to read through after I go back and learn the basics. So let's start off with just the syntax. I think I want to just read through some of this a little bit and basically learn how to declare variables and stuff. Okay. So they're using IOStream standard namespace, which I will avoid doing. So declaring variables, int num1 equals 24. Okay. So actually, let's make a new file here. And yeah, let's make test.cpp. And then we can do include IOStream int main. And let's try to just declare some variables. So I think there's built-in types from what I've seen. Int, let's see, I think there's chars, bool, belief string is not built in, so let's not focus on that. We got floats. Maybe I can look this up if there's other types. Void, null pointer, bool, char. Maybe there's different size chars. Float, integer. Okay, so maybe that's the majority of them. So let's just try to make a variable for each. So let's say num equals 10. Char c equals, I believe these are like c chars, so we can say a bool. So I'm pretty sure JavaScript syntax is pretty similar to C++, so probably lowercase true and false, I'm guessing. I wonder if we can also do like 0 and 1. We can maybe test that later. Float num2 can be 3.14. Why do I have squigglies here? Oh yeah, my bool. Okay, so that works. And then let's just console log these. So we can maybe add a new line for each of them. My VS Code key bindings don't work here. And let's just compile this and see what it return or what it prints out. Return 0. So we have test.cpp. So let's compile test.cpp, call the output test, and then we can run tests. Okay, so num spits out 10, char spits out a. My bool, okay, so bools, maybe it looks like they get converted to 1 and 0. So true is 1 and false is 0. And floats work just like how I expect. Okay. Great. Let's see what else is there to try. Header files. Okay, so IOStream is a header file. Include imports header files. Namespace. Namespace is used to provide a scope or region where we define identifiers. Okay, but yeah, let's not use namespace std. Main function is int main. I think I understand this from what I know about C. Blocks are enclosed in curly braces. Semicolons, they terminate each line. Identifiers name variables and functions and other types. Okay. Keywords, great. Cout, comments. Comments are just like JavaScript, right? Yep, that looks right. Okay, object-oriented programming. Okay, so class. We got a class here. We have public members and then public functions or methods, I guess. Declare an object, calculate, add. Okay, so this is an object named add of type or class calculate. And this is calling a member function or a method, yeah. Okay. I am going to use Gemini to also help me with this learning process. I think it seems fitting that I'm working at Google. I will use Google's AI. So I'm just going to ask it how to make a class in C++. Okay, so basic syntax. You can define using the class keyword followed by the name of your class. So class, my class, public access specifier. Okay, so we have public data members or variables. They are declaring but not initializing here. Member functions or methods. This looks like a standard function declaration, and you need a semicolon at the end. Okay. To make class functional and secure, you need to understand access specifiers. These control how the members of that class can be accessed. So public and private. I think I already understand this sort of stuff from what I know. Yeah. Attributes, data can be declared inside the class, and then methods or functions can belong to a class. They are defined inside the class or outside using the scope resolution operator, : Not really sure what that means. Okay. Creating an object. You can create an instance of a class in your main function. So let's say you have a class car with a string brand. Okay, so this is how you import strings. It includes string. And I'm assuming it's under the standard namespace or STD. String brand int year void drive. Okay, so we have a public method called drive, which outputs the brand is driving. Cool. Now we are creating an object of a car called myObject. Access attributes. So we can, okay, so we can set this object's brand to Tesla, this object's year to 2024, and then we can access those again with the dot operator. Yeah, that makes sense to me. So let me practice this. Okay, so inside of our test file, we can say we want to declare a class called, yeah, let's say car. Do we need a semicolon here? Looks like we do. Class car. So they said we have some public member variables and methods that we can say, what was it? It was int year. So we're just not initializing it. And then we can say, let's import string here. Hopefully that's how you do it. And then we can say this variable is of type string. Oh, sorry, standard string. Let's call it make. Or let's call it brand, just like the example. And then we want to have a public method that returns nothing, but we'll call it drive. Takes in no input, and then it will just output to the console. The space brand space is driving. And then we can just put our new line here. So can I access this variable just with brand? Like we don't need self.brand like in Python. I'm guessing that should work. Do we need a semicolon here? Don't think so. Okay, so let's see if this works and we can use this class. So to initialize an object, we can say a car, my car. I'm not sure if we use snake case or let's just use snake case here. my car equals, or let's just declare it car, my car. And then we can say my car will set its year to 2026. My car dot brand equals Ford. And then we can test it by printing my car dot year, and then maybe a new line. Copy this, brand with a new line, and let's return 0. And let's see if this compiles. So we can say g++ test.cpp. Our output is again test. Oh, got an error. First compiler error. Expected a semicolon. What line is this? Oh, I forgot a semicolon here. Great. Does this compile? Okay, and then we can, we'll run it with test. Sweet, looks like that works. I also want to, I think we need to learn about constructors, which I've looked at a little bit into that, but yeah, let's try that right now. Oh, okay, Gemini has it already for us. Constructors. A constructor is a special method that is automatically called when an object is created. It usually has the same name as the class and is used to initialize attributes. Okay, string brand. So this is a constructor. Seems like there's no type, return type, but yeah, so the name of the constructor method will match the name of the class. And this can take in a string, I guess, x, and it's calling brand equals x. So when you create this object, you can put in a string and it will set this brand member variable equal to that input string. That seems pretty simple. Okay, so let's try this. This constructor is in the public. Okay. Public constructor, that makes sense. So let's say, what's the indenting here? We'll say our constructor will be called car, and the input can be standard string. Can we call this brand, or is that a name conflict? They called it X. Okay. And then we'll set brand equal to X. Is that what they did? Oh, I need a double colon here. Standard string X, brand equals X. And let's see if in our main function we can pass in, what's another brand? BMW. Let's not reset it here, but let's see if this will compile. So let's just concatenate our run. Recompile and run. 2026 BMW. Okay, that seems to work. So this is our constructor method. It's taking in a standard string variable X. We're setting brand equal to X as soon as this object is instantiated or created. Okay, that makes sense. All right, I think I'm going to call it here for that episode. Let's see what we learned so far. So initialize variables. We learned about types. We had int, float, char, bool, void, standard string. I might be missing something. Learned how to make classes, member variables, member function, methods, constructors. And I think there's probably a lot more to learn about classes, but I think I want to focus on, for the next episode, control flow. So if, else, for, while, maybe switch statements. Not sure if there's anything else. But once we learn control flow, we can probably make, maybe just start to work on a very simple project and try and use most or all of this stuff that we've learned so far. Cool. Thanks for watching.